Hey, hi. Sorry to bug you, sir, but your niece. I think she's your niece. I met her down by the river. She needed me to catch a fish for her, a smelt specifically, and I did. So she said that you might have a pickaxe that I could use. Oh yeah, I do. Oh, awesome. However, I've really been craving a 3-spine stickleback. What? A 3-spine stickleback. It's a fish. You want a fish too? Yep, a 3-spine stickleback. To eat? Yeah, for my dinner. I'm gonna eat it. Okay, well, let me explain this. I need the pickaxe to get into a cave because I need to save my sister who is dying. It's a long story. So, could I get you the, what's it? 3-spine stickleback? Yeah, can I get you the 3-spine stickleback later after I save my sister's life? No, sorry. I really need one now. Why? To eat. I'm hungry. But can't you just have something else to tide you over? I really had my heart set on a 3-spine stickleback. They're just so tasty. But my sister's life is literally in danger if I don't get that pickaxe. Well, I guess you better hurry up and get fishing then. Does literally everyone in this town want a fish? Yeah, they probably do. That's just how things are done around here. What a weird society. As the hustle and hubbub and hullabaloo of modern life gets more and more consumed by tech, it's easy to find ourselves yearning for the good old days, back when a dweeb could just sit down, pop in a cartridge, switch her on, and chill out with a simple game that didn't try to shove a battle pass down your throat. Retro games are like little relics from a simpler time. No pop-ups, no stores, no season of the week, just you, a weird little cartridge world, and the gentle promise that you can unplug your brain from the matrix for a bit and be a person again. The Dusty Game Society knows this all too well. That's why we do what we do. We play the dustiest of games and share the best ones with you. I'll tell you more about the DGS at the end of the video, but first, we have a game to share. This is just about the coziest retro game ever. A chill, cute, laid-back game about fishing. Legend of the River King is a Game Boy era fishing RPG. I know, that sounds like a fake genre that I just invented so I could sound cool, but it's real. It exists. It is cozy. It's weird. It's occasionally frustrating in the same way that fishing is frustrating, which somehow circles back around to being relaxing again. Like how my knees hurt, but it builds character. Probably. This game came out for the Game Boy in 1998, and then it got an upgraded Game Boy Color version. So it's like one of those games from the glory days of the Game Boy, back when handheld RPGs were everywhere and developers were experimenting because no one knew what rules they were allowed to break yet. If you're picking versions, from what I understand, the Game Boy Color version is generally a smoother ride. It looks nicer, it has some extra fish, and it just feels a bit more complete. The original Game Boy version is still charming though. That's the one I went for this month. I wanted to go back to the humble Game Boy. In Legend of the River King, you play as a kid whose sister is seriously sick. Your mom tells you that there's only one cure, a legendary guardian fish with magical healing powers, just like real life. So your character does what any normal child would do in the 90s. He grabs a fishing rod and he sets out into the wilderness while your mom is like, good luck, try not to get eaten. You travel from area to area, meeting townsfolk, doing little quests, catching fish to earn money, or just to give to the townsfolk in exchange for favors. Like this guy wants a specific fish for dinner, someone else wants something fetched so they'll help you cross a river, someone gives you a tip about a secret spot. A lot of progression is tied to these little requests and it makes the world feel like a community. It has that Harvest Moon adjacent energy where the errands are small and human. Even when people are being annoying, it still feels like a place, like a simple world that you're living in for a while. And this is a world where the only thing that anyone cares about is fish or fishing. It's kind of my worst nightmare because I hate fishing in real life. It's a disgusting hobby that I want no part of. Fish are slimy and gross. No thanks. But I can deal with game fishing. So it's a fishing game, but it's also kind of a cozy adventure game with a gentle rhythm. It has that classic handheld RPG feel where everything is compact and readable and a little bit cozy and cute. Most of the time is spent wandering around the shores, looking for good fishing spots, talking to people, doing little errands, shopping, improving your fishing gear, and doing lots of fishing, of course. That's kind of like the core gameplay loop that you're going to be doing in each area that you go through. There will be some obstacle that prevents you from proceeding, and you're going to need to sort out all the villagers' problems before they'll let you through or give you what you need. And most of the problems are just, I want to fish. This game can be confusing at first, and it does not hold your hand much. It's the kind of game where you definitely want to read the manual before you start. You can wander around and feel like you missed something, especially early on. Each area has different fish, and just like real life, so I hear, different fish have preferences. So you'll end up doing this like gentle experimentation loop. You try worms here, a fly there, a lure somewhere else. Different fish want different bait, different fish need different hook sizes. There's lots of trial and error with the actual fishing. You listen to villagers who hint at what lives in each area. You learn which spots are good for money fish and which spots are good for rare fish. You catch smaller, easy fish to sell for money. You buy better rods and lures and bait, and you catch the quest fish to advance the story with the goal of eventually trying to catch the guardian fish. The actual fishing game part of the game is super simple. You pick a fishing spot, you choose your setup, you cast. Depending on your rod and lure, you might reel in, but mostly you wait. You'll do a lot of waiting in this game. Actually, the waiting is part of the vibe. It feels like a tiny handheld version of sitting at a lake and letting your brain unclench. And then you get a little sound effect when a fish bites, and you press a button to set the hook. The key thing is you don't want to fight the fish while it's pulling. If you try to force it, you're going to lose the fish. You need to wait until the fish gets tired and then reel it in when it's calm, stop when it struggles, and so on and so forth until you get it to the surface and then you have it. It just shows up in your inventory. Unlike real life, you don't need to deal with a freaking slimy, gross fish in your hands. Have I mentioned I hate fishing? It's simple, but it feels good, especially when you're chasing something big. You get this tension that's not action game tension. It's like patience tension, where you're just begging yourself not to mess it up because you've been trying to catch this frickin' fish for 20 minutes. Okay, so now we need to talk about the weirdest part. This is also an RPG. Not just a fishing RPG, but an RPG with combat. You fight in this game. Not against goblins or dragons though. You'll be fighting woodland critters like birds and bears, spiders, bees. The battles are basically this timing-based punch system. That's right, you kill all these animals with your fists like a man. You get a little indicator bouncing around and you press the button at the right moment to land a hit. Miss the timing and you miss the hit. It sounds out of place, but it does a few important things. It adds an element of risk. It makes the wilderness feel like an actual, like an adventure going from place to place. And it gives you a reason to care about your health and supplies. Also, leveling in this game is tied to combat, which is hilarious. You become a better fisherman by punching birds. I'm not an actual fisherman, so I don't know if this is the way it works in real life, but I get the feeling this is just like video game logic. If you're a fisherman, let me know if it works this way in the comments. The combat does impact fishing though. As you win fights, you gain experience. As you level up, you get more health. And the more health you have, the further you can cast. That matters because some fishing spots and some bigger fish basically require you to be strong enough to survive the region and capable enough to reach the good water. And also, the more health that you have, the longer you can use your boat without collapsing. That's actually one aspect of the game that drove me nuts. I hate the boat. There's no real penalty to quote-unquote dying though. You'll just wake up at the nearest bed and you can continue where you left off. That dang bird might have stolen your fish though. I didn't love the combat aspect of the game, to be honest. Sometimes you just want to stroll to the next spot and chill out, and the game goes, surprise spider, and your calm energy evaporates. You don't spend a ton of your game fighting though, so it becomes, it's not a big deal. It's kind of a necessary evil. For a Game Boy and Game Boy Color game, it looks really nice. I was impressed at how dense the environments are, both the overworld and underwater. Great little details and world decorations everywhere. Water looks like water, towns feel cozy. The NPCs all have unique sprites, which is nice. The fish look really good, and they're well detailed. I love the more quaint look of the original Game Boy version, but the Game Boy Color version has a warm storybook vibe that looks good too. The music is, I don't like it. There's music in in the overworld, and it's fine. It's classic RPG loop music that is catchy for a bit, but it is too repetitive and frankly too intense for a chill game like this. I like that when you're actually fishing, there's no music though. I wish there was an option just to turn off the music entirely, but it's fine. It's not the end of the world. I'm going to be completely honest with you, I didn't finish the game. I put in a ton of time, but I had a pretty major save game setback at one point where I lost a few days progress. And I didn't rush myself. I didn't look up guides or use cheats. I'm really enjoying taking it slow. I love that the world is just here for me to go and visit and spend some time in. It's so simple compared to our world. I like the idea that I can come back here and progress the story whenever I need to catch my breath. Modern games always feel like they're screaming at you to optimize your approach and get to the end. This game only politely asks you to pay attention. It honestly was a great antidote to the busyness of the holidays. This game won't be for everyone. Fishing requires a lot of patience. There were play sessions where I literally didn't catch anything. It's not a game that you brute force. It's a game that you just exist in. Sometimes you'll get success, but sometimes you won't. And it's on you to just accept that, hey, if the fish aren't biting, it's not worth getting worked up about. Maybe tomorrow will be a better day. That's kind of a deep philosophy for life if you think about it. This game made me think about that. And when a retro game makes you ponder the deep questions, that's like the best gift that a dusty old game can give you. But that's just one dweeb's opinion, and the DGS isn't a one dweeb show, so let's hear what the other DGS members had to say about Legend of the River King, shall we? Ern She Me said that they started late and went in blind, and the absurd catch a huge fish to save your sister premise really worked for them. They found the fishing a bit annoying to learn at first, but solid once it clicked, and they loved the surprise RPG encounters when you're punching bats and getting asked to fist fight a bear. It gave them a nostalgic hit and they want to finish it later. This is Happy Haha 2000's first month with the DGS. They said the game felt rough and confusing until they used the manual, and then it became a smooth, super cozy fishing loop. They loved the crunchy GBC look and the charmingly bad translation, but didn't like how fast boating drains the health or the gimmicky animal encounters. Gave it a 7 out of 10. Koran450 said that he came in skeptical since fishing games usually bounce off him, but he still found River King really charming, especially the Game Boy Color version's colorful look and the soundtrack. He says it feels opaque at first, but the manual plus the group figuring it out together helped a lot. In the end, it didn't hook him enough to finish, but he still called it cozy and sweet and figured it's about a 7 for the right person. Strad von Zarovich said that he didn't expect a fishing game to test his patience this hard, but he ended up loving how the challenge is all about endurance and attention instead of force. He described the vibe as quiet, almost ritual-like, where the river rewards you only when you stop trying to rush it. He gave it a 7.5 out of 10 and said it scratched an itch that he didn't know he had. Also, in typical Strad fashion, he wrote a full-on River King Christmas carol as part of his review. Strad, you are a weirdo in my favorite way. KC2DPT said that the game felt super cozy with a fun mix of little minigame moments, like the NPC pixel art, and it even brought back memories of fishing with their dad as a kid. They also mentioned that they probably wouldn't have finished without a guide since the game can leave you wandering. Judy B said that she enjoyed the Game Boy Color version at first, but never got fully hooked, even after finishing the first area and exploring the second. She thought that the animal punching combat felt bizarre in a chill fishing game, but she was still pleasantly surprised that the fishing stayed fun for a while and was glad that she tried it. Moonside Man said that he played it as a kid and replaying it brought him right back to weekend car rides while his dad ran errands. He loved the atmosphere, especially the cricket sounds while casting and the quirky humor, and it was oddly cathartic seeing everyone else share their first catch stories. He said that the exploration and nostalgia made it hold up and would recommend it to any Game Boy enjoyer. The Shibushi said that they were wary of an RPG fishing game at first, but once they read the manual and the fishing clicked, they got properly addicted and kept doing one more fish sessions in bed. They liked the depth of the fishing gear options and the goofy translation humor plus the weird little animal fight RPG layer. The biggest complaint was rafting and how it drained HP way too fast, sometimes just from accidentally nudging into water while moving around, and I couldn't agree more with that. That was super annoying. They also had a memorable laugh at the dialogue that thanks you for handing over your pale chub. Woodani said that this was a great busy holiday DGS pick. They felt the manual and walkthrough were basically required, and they used fast forward because waiting for bites can be boring. They loved the art, especially the underwater fishing scenes, but didn't love the combat and the HP draining raft. They still plan to keep it on their device for cozy fishing sessions though. Jot-N said this was a perfect December pick since it helped him decompress during a stressful month. He ended up using it as a wind-down game and even nodded off while fishing because it was so relaxing. He played the original Gameboy version, tried the GBC follow-up, and even checked out the spin-off Sea King. And he said that he's definitely going to revisit River King whenever life gets stressful again. Emery said that the game feels robbed by bad release timing and limited tech, with half-polished mechanics and too much menu navigation, so he didn't get far and rated it a 3 out of 10 mechanically. The part he loved was the shared DGS figure-it-out-together vibe, which brought back recess-era rumor culture and made the experience priceless for him. Wizard Gizzard said that they gave it an hour before bed for a week, but it never clicked for them. Jungbu said the game is an 8 out of 10 for them, held back mostly by unintuitive fishing and how much it leans on the manual. With help, they found it short, sweet, and worth playing, and they finished it in just a few days. Well done. Thank you, as always, to each and every DGS member who took part this month. It was a crazy busy month for me with the holiday YouTube rush and the Christmas with my extended family and their family and the family December family stuff. But I loved using the Dusty Game Society chat as a home base to catch up on the latest fishing tips and tricks to help me out each night as I dozed off with my line in the water on the edge of a river. You guys are the real legends. The River King has nothing on you. The Dusty Game Society is a perk that I offer to my patrons. It's like a gaming club for retro games. Each month we play a game together, talk about it while we play, and at the end of the month I collect everyone's reviews for videos like this. If that sounds like the sort of thing you'd be up for doing, or just supporting my work, the DGS is optional. Either way, there's a link in the thingy below. Anyways, that'll do it for today. I hope that you give Legend of the River King a try. Let us know what you think of this one in the comments below. From all of us Dusty Dweebs at the DGS, stay dusty, my friend.